Well, hi friends, I'm so excited to share with you that this last month, April, was the 25th anniversary for Hutton Construction. We are so proud of everything that we've been able to accomplish over the last 25 years, but none of it would have been possible without all of the great partners we have here at our company and in this city. And so to celebrate that, we made this short video that we'd love to share with you now. So I hope you enjoy it.
The first days were very busy. I tell people I bid by night and built by day. It was kind of my motto because I was it for the first couple months at least, and really from the standpoint of managing the construction and estimating, it was me. So I spent a lot of hours at the office, more than I'd like to admit. It's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about people going home at a reasonable time here. But we did a lot of work, a lot of long days, a lot of weekends, and chasing work.
The first month or two was kind of fun, exciting. You know, I talked with Mark several months prior and talked about the job and how much I wanted it, but he couldn't hire me till he had a job. So we had to have revenue to pay salaries. So he was working hard and got the first job, and so I came to work and trying to learn the software and get up to speed and get the office organized. And
that office was, it was a little pre-engineered building over across the street from Learjet. And I leased it from a contractor that was he was retiring, going out of business. And it was rough, to say the least. It had red shag carpet on the floor that probably hadn't been cleaned for about 20 years, and the bathrooms were a mess. My wife she was gracious enough to go in there and clean the bathroom the first time, and she never let me forget that. We had a little bit of a mouse problem there, so at night I'd be working on an estimate and I'd be listening to the mice running across the ceiling. And then about, Peggy will tell you this, about every 3 months one would die, and we'd have a couple days of it kind of stinking in there. And we'd move on. So we always made sure we didn't invite any clients into the office when we had a mouse die on us. So
I remember some of the first days. Actually, I remember before the business even started, late nights with random people coming over to the house, and I didn't quite know what was going on. And what it turns out is these were advisors to Dad, right, as he was thinking about starting the business and beginning to work through the plan. And I remember specifically one night, Bob Shepard, who ultimately became the general superintendent for the business, coming over and having a long discussion with Dad. I remember that because I was supposed to be mowing the yard that day and I didn't, and I ended up having to mow the yard with flashlights taped to the lawnmower so I could do it. But anyway, I remember all of these people, and then lots of kind of excitement in the house, but some tense moments as, Dad left a job that he had been at for 15 years and then jumped into something brand new with tons of opportunity, but lots of risk too.
yeah, we started out with one superintendent, handful of field guys, and it just took off. It's intense, in a good way. He always was so high energy, and I can remember one time he was estimating a job and somebody called and he answered the phone call and lost his estimate, and I could just hear things hitting the wall. And I'm like, I don't know what happened, but I know it was bad. So we remembered the bottom line number and used that number, and we got the job. So,
well, for me it was exciting. I had been footloose and fancy-free, traveling around the world for, I just got finished with a job in Georgia. Actually, wasn't done with the job in Georgia. Building a prison, which was a horrible job, but a great experience. It was fun. But that time in my life, it was time to move home. So I was thrilled with the opportunity that Mark was starting his own deal, and I couldn't wait to get started.
Jim is, he's a free thinker. And so he always looked at things differently. After I started this company, he came in the office one day and he said, we want to go to work here. And I said, well, Jim, I said, I don't know that I don't have any work for you just yet. I'd like to hire you, but I don't know when that's going to be till I get a job and know, because literally we'd been around about 3 months and we had one project going. And so Jim sat there a minute and he thought, and he goes, well, he says, I'm quitting anyway, so you might as well hire me. And he said, we'll figure out, how we get paid later on. He says, but I really want to work here.
My name is Roger Elmore, and I kind of do a little bit of everything. Just out of the blue one day, Mark and I made contact, and he said, well, you're pushing me a little earlier than I was going to make this offer, but why don't you come to work for me? So, yeah, it was scary at first. It was fun, but it was scary. One of the first jobs that Mark gave me to price and put together, and then sent me to go turn the bid in and everything like that. Somewhere in that whole little scenario, he turned to Peggy, and Peggy told me this later, and said, well, we just took the training wheels off. And I always thought that was kind of, unique and comical. Peggy was always just Peggy. She used to get on me when I was at the other company for not doing stuff right, and she still did it here when I first came over. So it was like being right at home.
We've had numerous instances where people came in the door. Ray Lowen is a good example. Ray called me up one day and says, you need a good superintendent. And I said, I sure do, Ray, but I don't have a project for you right now. I said, but I'm going to hire you anyway. I'm going to make you my architect, and that was the beginning of a great relationship where Ray, because I knew Ray had a lot more talent than just being a good superintendent. He would have made a fantastic superintendent, but he's really worth more to me. Was at the time with his architectural expertise, and so he said, well, that's even better, and he came on board.
The first few years were, it was kind of different because we did everything, it seemed like. We could be pouring concrete to sheetrock to putting cabinets and doors in. So it was kind of different that we just did a little bit of everything.
I came in 1999, June of 99. The office was small. There was 3 ladies and I don't even know, 7 or 8 guys, maybe a little bit more. I was trying to remember how the layout of the office was when I started, and I couldn't really remember for sure.
I think getting the first large YMCA project, which was the East YMCA, we had only been in business about 3 years when we were low bidder on that. The bonding company didn't want us to bid it. They thought it was too big for us. But I went ahead. I felt like we were really well positioned to get that job, and we were successfully low on it. It set in motion a long-term relationship with the YMCA that we built quite a few Ys off of.
I just had a couple I jotted down here. The first one, Carlton Learning Center, Lake Carlton, as we called it. And rained and rained and rained that whole spring. We built that. So
another key turning point about the same time was the Hayes Company, another large project that came along, and Will Hayes, who we had done a number of projects for, built a couple new warehouses and done some remodels for them. Their company was growing rapidly, and they just decided they were going to build a whole new facility. If we would have failed on that, it would have probably caused Hayes Company to fail because they would not have been able to deliver to Walmart, and you don't get a second chance with Walmart. So there was a lot riding on that.
We always seem to have a couple projects, a big one. There'd always be another big one that would come along right with it. So
another milestone project, wasn't very big, but it was our first negotiated job, and that was with West Wichita Family Physicians. They needed an expansion, and an architect in town suggested that they talk to us, and we were able to, that's when I first met Dr. Lowen, at West Wichita, great guy, and we had some good conversations. And I remember him asking me specifically, he says, I'll hire you for this if you can promise me the roof won't leak where you add this addition. And I said, I can do that. I promise you it won't leak. And to this day, he still tells me it's never leaked.
And so I can remember growing up with Jimmy and Red and Pee Wee and Bob Shepard, and later came Jeff Kissler and knew Roger Elmore and Jim Costello from all those days. And so what's really neat for me is to see the business grow up with all of these great people involved, and having known them from way back then is really special.
Yeah, when we hired Jim Costello, he wasn't married. Matter of fact, I'm not too sure he even met Sid. I've watched the Costello Nation grow up. It's been fun to watch and kind of be part of off to the side. We've seen that with the Solis family. When we hired Jimmy Solis, he wasn't married. He and Paula got married shortly after they joined us, but we've watched them have kids and grow up, and Peggy's 3 girls. I remember when her oldest girl, Kelly, was still in junior high. Is when I first, met her, and that's actually been one of the biggest blessings is getting to be kind of part of the life of all these people. Jeff Honbaum. I still remember the day we were having a tailgate party up at Kansas State University, and he was all nervous because he was going to ask Camille to marry him at that football game. Had Willie Wildcat with the ring all set up, and she said yes, obviously, but it's been fun to watch.
I think the reason I've stayed is I enjoy what I do. The Hutton family's always been great to me, and I've been here so long that I feel like it's part of my family, and I've raised my family here.
Like Jimmy said, we've raised our kids here. I mean, it's family to us. It's all of our eggs are in the same basket. Hutton is our family, and we take pride in the company. I mean, we really do.
Yeah, it's a very important part of our lives.
A lot of people have asked me if it was difficult to hand things off to Ben, and I got to tell them, I almost felt guilty that it didn't. I was going to say, not only did we not miss a beat, I think we picked some beats up in doing it. And so it's been a good thing for me to be able to get out of the way. And I've enjoyed watching that.
I'm Andy Buessing. I'm president of Hutton Construction. I actually checked today. I started at Hutton Construction on February 22nd, 2010, so a little over 7 years ago. Ben came to me, if you want the whole story of King, Ben came to me one day and said, hey, I think we're thinking about buying King. Are you interested? Then he walked out and he never talked to me for another month. But that was my experience with King, or my first day, I guess. Well, for purchasing, King really kind of propelled us into the industrial market. I'm not sure we would have been able to do that work had we not purchased King. I'm always going to consider it my baby, and I probably call Luke a little too often and see how things are going. But it's been a great experience for us.
And so as I think about things that are exciting now, and there's really so much we have going on. One, with the change we just made with Andy as president, it really is a powerful move for our business. We've put Andy in a position to really use the strengths that he has as a great operational leader. And at the same time, it gave me the ability to focus on the things that I'm really good at and looking into the future and building relationships with our clients and people that work in the business now.
So Ben asked me one day, he sent me a text and said, hey, Andy, I want to meet you for breakfast. So I'm like, all right. Next thing you know, he's asking me if I wanted to be president, and I'm calling my wife on the way home and saying, you ain't gonna believe what just happened to me today. But it's been fun. It's a great group. I definitely look at things from a different perspective now than I used to. But it's fun to sit back and see the successes that the people are having.
Also exciting right now is the Vision 2020 goals that we have, right? And so as we look at goal number 1, it's really about providing the best possible experience for the clients that we have. The second goal number 2, Project Zero, is all about being great at building, as getting as close to perfection as we can possibly come. And the last goal is really about growth, but growth coming from the way it always has for us, through happy clients and referrals. Together, these three goals, our Vision 2020 goals, are really pushing us into the future.
People are coming up with their ideas on things that we can do. One of our project managers dressed up as our client, and the client dressed up as him. It's just fun seeing everybody try different things to see how they can get better.
Another exciting thing that we've been working on over the last few years is really defining the purpose and values of our business. We really exist to build life into our employees' dreams, clients' vision, and community's future. And then when we talk about values in conjunction with that purpose, we've been able to narrow it down to 4 words that really define who we are as a business. We lead, inspire, respect, and construct. So as I think about going forward, and I really try and think about, it's been 25 years, what do the next 25 years look like? I think we have so much potential in our business right now. Potential with great clients, potential with a community that's growing, but really potential in great people.
I don't look at the accomplishment of the next 25 years as being something that's in dollar volume or size of projects or anything. We've had 25 years of, I believe, just stellar success in attracting and keeping phenomenal people, and that's not easy to do.
If you look back through the history of the business, there's all sorts of stories about projects that were important. There's all sorts of stories about clients that really helped take our business to the next level. But behind all of that are people that made all those happen. And some of those people are still with us today, and some of them are just starting their careers with us right now. The atmosphere that we've built here is our secret sauce. It's what is going to take us into the next 25 years. And when I look at what success looks like 25 years from now, it's maintaining that and really distilling that culture or those values and our purpose down even to an even clearer picture, so that we become more of who we are right now, not less. And as I reflect on that, I also reflect way back to those early years and some of the pioneers of our business and the legacy that they left. It makes me so proud to be a part of this business, knowing relationships that they built, the ethics that they had, the quality of the products that we created, and the long-lasting impact that this business has had on families in our community, from our employees, as well as people that we may never even know. The buildings that we build are important pieces of the fabric of the communities we work in. And to know that we have small parts in the educations of all these kids that go through the schools that we work in, that we built a hospital that might save a life of a grandparent or a parent, or that we built a manufacturing facility that helped provide jobs and really support for communities all over Kansas, is really rewarding for me. As I think about the next 25 years, I also think about this legacy that we have to build together.